Hey everyone, happy March. I honestly can't believe it's March already. And as I'm recording it, it is March the 3rd. So we already had our total lunar eclipse that occurred last night if you're on the Eastern Hemisphere at 3:33 a.m., which is amazing. All of the threes, March the 3rd and 3:33 a.m. So what I wanted to do is just hop on here and just kind of pull a brief reading for the beginning of the month of March. Also too, as I'm recording it, it's a very rainy day, but you know what? It's a lot warmer than what it's used to, or has been the last few weeks. The snow is finally melting where I'm at, and spring is just right around the corner. So I don't know about you, but I'm excited. But at the same time too, like I said, the rain is making it feel like a very lazy day. So, just to let you know, this is a general reading. It's not a one-to-one. Please take what resonates with you and leave the rest. Also, too, I already pre-shuffled the deck just to save some time, and we'll get started with the reading. All right, so the first card we have right here, I'll bring it closer to here, is the Four of Swords. So kind of already, like I was talking about earlier, since it's a little raining out right now where I'm at, the Four of Swords is pretty much just saying you may be feeling a bit drained, maybe mentally overwhelmed or overloaded in the beginning of this month. But just like I said, trying to achieve things, trying to do too much. So right now, it's really important for you to kind of just take the time to relax and reflect on everything that you've been going through. It's been a lot. There's so much happening right now in the world, and probably a lot that you're trying to accomplish and achieve as well. And as you can see with this picture, like the knight himself, he looks like he's tired. He looks like he's just done a lot. The sword right here is by his bedside. He's just kind of putting it down just to rest, and then he's got the other three hanging up against the wall. So definitely right now in the beginning of March, it's just kind of letting you know it is really important just to kind of just take the time to focus, recuperate, do a little introspective and recovery on everything that you're going through, so then that way we can continue the month of March being a lot stronger. All right, so the next card we have is the Six of Wands in reverse. And what I am getting from this card itself is you may have had a few disappointments currently going on in your life, which makes sense as to why you need to rest and refocus. If it was upright, it's talking about victory, but since this is in reverse, it's kind of just letting you know right now you may feel disappointed in the things that you've been trying to achieve currently right now in your life, and that you're also just trying to also examine like your current and existing relationships. So I think that's kind of perfect with going on with talking about rest and refocus with the Four of Swords. This is the perfect time to just take a look at everything and take stock of inventory of everything that you're going through and what you're focusing on, because this isn't a time for you to necessarily stop completely, but it is a time for you just to kind of take a pause to just reevaluate everything that's going on, see where things may have fell short, what you could probably do to change and switch things up to go and try and achieve the next step or your goals in life. All right, so the next card that we have is the Tower in reverse. And usually the Tower in the upright position is talking about things falling apart to build a better foundation. When I am looking at this card, especially in reverse, I'm getting the feeling of maybe you're probably resisting change. And because you're resisting the change that's happening and coming up in your life, this could be delaying essentially what you want, what you're trying to accomplish. Because like I said, the Tower, when it's in the upright position, it's just letting you know that things have to come to an end, because the foundation as to which you were currently existing on was not stable. So when it's in reverse, it's just letting me know that you're trying to hold on to something that needs to calm down. And because like you're trying to hold on to this, it's delaying your progress. It's delaying you being able to get to where you want. And that's probably why you've been experiencing a lot of these disappointments, going on, currently in your life. It's because you're not allowing certain things to go and be released. We are already heading towards the astrological new year with, Aries being the first of the astrology signs, March 20th. Well, I mean, this is like still a good time if you're following that path to let things go. If things are not working out the way you want them to, it's for a reason. And the longer you hold on to things that no longer serve you, the longer it's going to take for you to get to where you want, and also to the greater the disappointment's going to be. So far, this reading is just letting me know is there's just still a lot of stuff that needs to be released, a lot of stuff that we need to let go, as far as the collective is concerned, to get to the next point. All right, and then the next card is the Eight of Pentacles in reverse. So we are having a lot of reversals going on in this reading. And the Eight of Pentacles in reverse is letting me know that because of everything that's happening currently right now in your situation, you may have like little motivation to try and do anything. You may be currently right now feeling like you're stuck in a boring or repetitive, dead-end career or job. You may be also to someone who is just trying to stay disciplined with what you're trying to focus on. But like currently right now, like you have like this mental fog. If I actually go and flip it upright, just so that way you kind of see it, you can see this person right here, like he's very like in tuned and like focused on what he's doing. But when, like I said, we're looking at this in reverse, it's the opposite of it. Right now, like you're not being really disciplined, you're not being focused. And a lot of that probably also too, the lack of motivation and focus, is because you're trying, like I said, you're trying to hold on to things that need to just end. You're trying to make something work that is no longer working for you right now. And, one thing that pops up into my mind, and I was actually thinking about this the other day, is March to me, yes, it can be magical and money and, miracles, but at the same time, March to me, especially in the beginning of the month, is talking about maneuvering. Maneuvering in a different way than what we've been currently doing. Because, that literally the definition of insanity means doing the same thing over and over and over again and expecting different results. You can't expect to achieve new and different things if you continue to keep doing the same things over and over and over again. And I know that's extremely frustrating, because like sometimes it's hard for us to go with the flow and deal with changes. But the fact that you continue to keep doing the same thing over and over again is making your focus kind of just spread all over the place, because you're just like, look, I'm trying to do X, Y, and Z, and it may have worked perfectly well for you before in the past, but just kind of also too, like the saying goes, like old keys aren't going to open new doors. Sometimes we have to just let things collapse and let things fall in order to get to the next step in our journey. All right, so the next card that we have is the Eight of Cups. And that Eight of Cups is in reverse again. Like I said, we are getting a lot of reversals for the beginning of the month. But Eight of Cups in reverse is pretty much letting me know that you're moving, once again, you're kind of moving in fear. And I think it's because you're afraid to, once again, let go of things. And I know I keep sounding like a broken record, but these cards, as you can see, they're telling a perfect story. You're afraid of letting go of stuff. You're afraid of, doing the opposite of what you would normally do because you think that something bad is probably going to happen. What we need to do is, like I said, focus on leaving behind things that no longer serve you. Focus on taking things that no longer serve you and leaving them behind. Because every time that you try and delay something, every time that you try and run away from your responsibilities, you're only just abandoning a part of yourself. You're abandoning your commitment issues. You're abandoning, your hopes and your dreams. And that's not what we want. So what I'm getting, like I said, for so far for the whole beginning month of March is that we really need to truly focus on kind of just stop resisting what the inevitable is going to happen, which is certain things are going to fall out of place. If certain relationships don't end up working out anymore, it's for a reason. If you are currently in a job or looking for a specific job and it doesn't work out, it's for a reason. Stop trying to hold on to things that no longer serve you, because deep down in your heart of hearts and your mind what you want. And that the longer you hold on to these ideologies and these things that aren't serving you, you're not going to get there. So, I know this reading may seem very pessimistic, but honestly, I think it's a beautiful reading, especially since, like I said, we're marching into spring pretty soon. No pun intended, but we are. All right, and the last card I'm going to just pull. And we have right here the World card. That's beautiful. That once you finally let go of everything that is no longer serving you, letting that tower moment happen, letting things kind of just fall where they need to fall, you're finally going to accomplish your goal. And this is beautiful for the ending of this reading, is that, once you let everything fall by the wayside, you're going to come to a completion of everything. Because that's what the World card is. It's just letting you know that from where you start to where you go, it's a complete circle. And, with her, it's kind of got this U shape that she's standing in. She's looking outward, to me, how I kind of see it is to the future. And, you can be cosmically in tune with the universe and in imperfect union with what you want. But like I said, you have to let go of all of these things that are just no longer serving you. And, like I said, let's just go back to the first card that we have, which is the Four of Swords. You're tired. You're tired because, you've been doing the same old things over and over and over again. And Spirit, the universe, your guides are letting you know, look, it's time. It's time for you to release, what is no longer serving you. And once you do that, then, like I said, we have the World card. And the World card is just letting you know that, things are going to work out and that it'll all come to be where you want them to be. So that's beautiful. I know, like I said, it was looking a little bleak. It was looking a little pessimistic, but I always try, and I don't care if you call this toxic positivity. Everything happens for a reason, even the crappiest things that happen in our life. And I know for me, anytime I've ever gone through something that's negative and I never know how I'm going to get out of it, it always ends up working out. And usually it ends up working out a lot faster for me when I stop holding on to things that I know are no longer serving me, that are no longer working in my favor. All right, so I just want to close out the reading like I always do. I have my Cup of Fortunes right here. And just going to go and shuffle these real quick. Let's see what we can get. All right, actually, 2 came out, so we're just gonna go with it. We're gonna roll with it since 2 came out. So let's look at the first one. And the first one says, embrace the opportunity to embrace the opportunity to encourage understanding and tolerance. All right, embrace the opportunity to encourage understanding and tolerance. And then the next one we have, and this has came up before, this one say, trust that everything is falling into place. This one say, trust that everything is falling into place. I mean, these two are kind of, self-explanatory when I look at it. When it's talking about the first one, embrace the opportunity to encourage understanding and tolerance. It's, to me, like I said, it's going back to kind of letting you know, like I said, embrace the unknown, embrace that change, because, every time you keep holding on to things that are no longer, for your highest good, you're only hurting yourself. So this is an opportunity for you to be brave and to look at things in a different way, and be tolerant of your current situation. Everything is going to work out in your favor if you have to just continuously say that and believe to yourself that everything is going to work out in your favor. And then this one is just self-explanatory. This one say, trust that everything is falling into place. I'm recording this right now on a Tuesday, so I might actually just pop this on the beginning of Wednesday, like Wednesday morning, but we'll see. I'm just kind of working on a lot of different things right now. But I hope you guys enjoyed this reading. If so, please like, share, and subscribe, and I will talk to you guys in the next one. All right, bye.